Going back to Broadway last June must have been like a homecoming for you.
Back to Broadway. Yes, it was. It had been a long time because I hadn't been on Broadway since Funny Girl with Barbra Streisand, which was at the Winter Garden Theater. But I went back to the Schubert. We won't tell you how many years ago. And there, not the Schubert, the 46th Street Theater, where I had done Damn Yankees, my first musical.
They brought back Damn Yankees, but why did it take so long to bring Arsenic and Old Lace back? Any thoughts about that?
Yes, well, who knows, except that Elliot Martin is not the first who thought of doing it, because before Elliot called me, I had about 4 calls to do it.
But you and Elliot had a relationship that went back to 1953 and 54, right?
Yes. His first Broadway show was in the Summer House. He was a stage manager of that, production stage manager, and it was my first Broadway show with Judith Anderson and Mildred Dunnick, also the first Broadway show of director Jose Quintero. And we played in New Haven, and then we came up to Boston. We played at the Wilbur Theater. So now Elliot Martin is producing Arsenic, and here we are again in Boston.
Are you loving it?
Oh yes, I love Boston. I counted up yesterday. I've done 7 shows in Boston. Well, everybody in the theater has been in Boston.
We've come to feel that Marion Ross is a good friend of Good Days. I think she's a dear lady.
Oh, I do too.
This combination works with the two of you?
And how. She's a very gifted actress, and that's one reason. The other reason is she's a very generous actress. That means she gives her all, and she gives to her fellow players. And so we have an interaction, which is what it's all about up there. Now,
and particularly in this play, isn't it?
Yes,
very, very important?
Very important. It is an ensemble piece. And the 2 women must be an ensemble. And we are, because of this wonderful lady.
Women's issues play a very important part in your life. The Women's Resource and Education Institute is something you've spent an awful lot of time working on.
I'm on the advisory board, and I started there in 1977 when it was formed as a research arm for the Congressional Caucus on Women's Issues. That caucus is celebrating its 10th anniversary. And it really, it was the same year that the National Women's Conference was held in Houston. So we're all 10 years, you see. Well, 10 years has brought about this, this book, The American Woman, 1987, A Report in Depth. Now this is a readable book. It's coming out in March. It'll be in the bookstores. And there's a chapter written by well-known and experts in various fields as to where women are, as the status of women in sports, government and politics, in science, in education, and so forth. And it's going to be an ongoing report.
Every year there'll be another one.
Every year.
Isn't that great?
And the statistics are a small portion of it, so it's not a book of statistics. So I'm very proud of this. It's an important report.
I love the fundraiser that you did at the Kennedy Center. You did Arsenic and Old Lace there, and
Yes.
13 of the congressmen were corpses. Did I read that?
Yes, including the new Speaker of the House, Mr. Wright. Now, if Mr. Wright will be a corpse, I wish that Mr. O'Neill would be a corpse.
Oh, you think you could talk him into it?
And perhaps your mayor. Oh, I think this town would love.
They need a little shake-up.
We're open to volunteers. You see, I don't want to give it all away, but there are corpses that rise up out of the cellar during the curtain call who have been put there by these lovely, beloved aunts who serve them elderberry wine.
That's so great. You know what I love? I know that you've sung all your life, but to go back and to play in Candide, and to now be real, to sing, you made your opera debut, didn't you?
Yes, in Candide. I'm not probably going to do much more of grand opera, but I do have a musical monologue written by Lee Hoybe, a composer, text by Ruth Draper, one of Ruth Draper's famous monologues, which is 45 minutes long and which I've done and has a future, but we're going to add another monologue then we'll have an evening in the musical theater. Yes, that's ongoing with me.
You know, Carol O'Connor said the loveliest thing about you. He said that you are the most loving, caring, and professional person that he's ever known. And he said that he was spoiled after you.
Oh, isn't he wonderful? Of course, that's a little bit of hyperbole, but...
Yeah, but you can't last in this business unless you have some
well,
of those
bless his
qualities.
heart. What a dear man. That shows you how dear he is. And well, I can't believe that all of that, but it's very sweet of him, and we had a wonderful 8.5 years.
You have done so much in your life. You've been so many places. This business allows you to meet so many different people. What are the things that you'd like to change about the world? And I know that that's a heavy question in an interview to throw at you, but what are the things that concern you the most, that you'd like to see stopped?
Well, all the things, most of it, the issues that are prominent today, and, you know, it's coexistence in the world, and removing, well, friction, and, you know, we have to work for peace. And we have to be peacemakers, and that's an active role that we can all take, and it starts at home, starts with us. To me, the answer and the hope of peace lies in disarmament, not in increasing armaments. And I think there should be a greater balance in government of women and men. And if we do have a greater balance, we have a lot of peacemakers who are women. I think they're very much needed. And I don't see any woman on any of those commissions that are concerned with this issue.
Hear, hear. We have to give women the root. I'll tell you, I think that the WREI does a very, very good job. And I'm looking forward to The American Woman 1987. Comes out in March, right?
Mm-hmm.
Soon after you...
Norton, W.W. Norton is the publisher.
That's soon after you close with Arsenic and Old Lace here.
Yes.
I hope people realize what a gift we have been given to have you and Marion and this terrific cast here with Arsenic and Old Lace.
Well,
really.
I hope they'll have a great time, as
Thanks,
we do
Jean.
doing it.
Really nice
Thanks,
to see
Eileen.
you again. God bless you. Great to see you, and I mean
Great
that.
to see you.
Thank
I mean
you.
it too.
Thank you.